where you eat upstairs?
We do. I've got that TLC there. We can all sit at the counter in the kitchen, and we've been doing that more since I got that TV. So anyway, it's not the same. So I'll tell you what we haven't done in a long time is gone out to eat anywhere.
No, we haven't either. Even Daryl's birthday here just came up, and of course she was sick for her birthday, so we couldn't do that anyway. But yeah, we haven't gone out. Now you rarely use your formal dining room. Is that true?
Audio check.
That's basically true. We'll use it when Carrie's here because she likes to use it. Her company, holidays, we'll eat there, but on a daily basis, no.
It's very typical of everybody who has a formal dining area. They don't usually use it. It's kind of wasted space. It's only used for company and stuff like that. It's like Jim and Cheryl's. They got a nice dining room, and they always eat at the kitchen table. There's a table. They have an open kitchen family room style home, and in between it is like it's got a big table. It's got a kitchen table, so they always eat out there. You see, we never had, when I was up in Savoy and built the house, we had a formal dining room too. We always ate at that because it was an open kitchen dining area. That's right. I wouldn't call that formal. Yeah, the formal ones are kind of ones that are closed off. They're kind of a room unique, kind of like yours.
Yeah. Well, there's no door on ours, but it's really not that big either. There's a good-sized table in there, though.
Hey, good morning, everybody. K1GMM. Woo, my audio's really hot. Sorry about that, guys.
The counter I put in the kitchen, the center island. That works out really good.
I'll just address the stream here. Say good morning. Good morning. Good afternoon, Alan. Good morning, I think. You and Frank, not sure where you're at. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Name is Steve, K1GMM. We're just knocking around in here. Push a quick live stream. Keep things active, you know what I mean? Hope everybody's doing well. And cold morning here in the state of Vermont. Heavy frost, which usually indicates that it's going to warm up a bit. So hopefully we get close to the freezing mark today. So anyways, we're on 3615, and I'll chat with the guys for a couple minutes, and maybe somebody will be around. Maybe the band will hold up on 3630. It depends on when these guys clear. So that is it. Get the audio back going.
Problems and internet thing problems. I don't know. So I guess I'm gonna do a little work down there and get her straightened out.
See, I'm telling you, you could make a fortune, Frank.
You should have seen me yesterday. My neighbor's across the street. I keep telling you about him. He's 92. She's 85. He did something really stupid this year. They had DirecTV. They've had it for years, and it got so it would be on that 2-year cycle where they're not obligated to it anymore. They came back this year, and they had to. Of course, it's on vacation, and DirecTV is always, when they, you didn't have to pay anything monthly when DirecTV put this thing on vacation. That was the one good thing about that, whereas these cable companies really charge the hell out of you. You just could not use it. It always ticked me off. But anyway, they came back for the season this year, and this guy is roaming around for CenturyLink, who's the internet guy. Connects his internet guy up, and he's associated with DirecTV too. They can do DirecTV as far as and the CenturyLink, the internet, so which is DSL. So he says, I can give you a better deal on DirecTV, and Wally jumps right on it stupidly, and so this guy comes in and reinstalls new receivers. Gives him a whole. The old DirecTV is under Annie's name. This new one is under his name. Now, oh my God! Now they're under a 2-year contract, and now they got 2 systems open that nobody canceled. I guess he thought that the CenturyLink guy was going to cancel the old system. It's really his, you're obligated to cancel your own system. So now I got two bills coming in. And they've had them coming in for months now, ever since he got back from September. I got on the phone yesterday. I spent 2 hours on the phone yesterday. The first thing I said, the first guy that answers, this is kind of a long story. I want to cancel service. So he connects me with somebody, and this guy is obviously from Puerto Rico or somewhere. I just listened to him for about 10 seconds, and I says, I want to speak to customer retention manager. I couldn't even understand it.
RF bangers. I'm going to have to remember that, dude. That's a good one. Good morning. How are you?
He got down to the point
DK5ONB.
Well, he owed like $162 times when he didn't even have the boxes.
RF bangers.
It was an Annie's name. So he said, well, we can cut that.
Oh, classic.
That's not acceptable. I said, let me talk to your boss. So he goes, it's like the car salesman going in to talk to the manager, So he goes to talk to her, and she don't want to talk to me. She finally says, okay, give him everything, make the balance zero. So that's the way it wound up. I got everything down to zero. Long story. WTUNB.
K1GMM.
Good for you there. I think I just heard Steve as I was keying up. You wonder how many people are in that situation, and they don't know how to get out of it. Good morning, Steve. Go ahead.
Hey, yeah. It always pays. Boy, my ALC is really cranking here. It pays. And good morning, Frank. Good morning, Jerry. It pays to open your yapper, doesn't it, man? You can. Everything's negotiable, right?
Oh, absolutely. And you've got to talk to the right person. You got to talk to the person who has the power to do what you want them to do. You can't.
That's right.
You can't get these guys, these third parties that are in different countries that are working on this stuff. It's a total waste of time.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think you got three parts of the population, right? You got the part of the population that negotiates everything. You got a part of the population that negotiates nothing. They just don't ask questions, and they just do whatever they're told and pay whatever there is required. And then you have the people who ignore everything, and they end up in court or something. I was just thinking, I wonder which one I'm at. It took me a long time to figure out that things are negotiable. So I was part of the just do as you're told and don't question anything crowd. But yeah, I think once you get later on in life, you start to realize that you should probably do like what you did. I've done it. I've done stuff like that before, and it's amazing. You kind of walk away shaking your head and go, man, why didn't I know this sooner? Go ahead, Jerry.
Yeah, I'll just tell you one more story. Let me see if I got it before I turn it over to Jerry.
Hey, good morning, Gary.
I guess later in life I'm pretty outspoken as I get older. I'm just not gonna pay all this cash it's not worth it. Example, XM radio. I'll get a bill on my card for $240. All right, that's the new charge for the year. I said, oh no, okay. So I get on the phone. The first thing I say is I want to cancel my account. Then you get to the right people, and you have to tell them you're going to cancel your account. Probably 6 or 7 times as they start negotiating.
Hop in, Gary.
Coming down in price.
If you got the rig up and
I
going.
get to 240 down to about $60 for the year, and that's what I usually pay at XM radio. I'm thinking of even canceling. I don't know, but we are going cross country this year, and it's really nice to have it. So I'm going to probably keep it for a while longer. But that's what I do. And you can negotiate. You're absolutely right. Go ahead, Jerry. WT1B.
Big Gun Radio Friendship Net. Very cool.
Yeah, I hate those situations. And then,
Jerry is so loud.
The minute you threaten to get out, then the price starts going down. And then you say, well, here's people that get their prices adjusted because they're going to cancel, and I'm getting screwed here paying full price. That always ticked me off.
well, you have to be a negotiator.
Yeah, squeaky wheel gets the oil, right?
Absolutely. Right, Steve?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You know what I hate are the guys that are the real hard. You know, once in a while you run into I'm talking like on a local level, right? I'm not talking like big company or anything like that. You get a real hard head, you know, that just will not move, will not budge. The rules are the rules. This is the way you play the game, and if you don't abide by it, take a walk. You know, I think the more local you get, I don't know, is that true or not? I know, you know, dealing with contractors, you know, I'm talking everything from a contractor, any type of contractor, all the way to a, what was I thinking? You know, what comes to mind is an auto parts place. You know, usually they don't negotiate very well. Usually what they charge is they hand you the bill, and that is non-negotiable. And I think that kind of sucks, you know. I don't know. That's, you know, eBay set the stage for all that decades ago, right? I think that's where all that started, that whole whatever it is. You know what I'm saying. Go ahead, Frank.
Yeah, well, you know, it's all in supply and demand.
Mm-hmm.
You know, places like the Walmarts, Amazons, and, you know, they've got so much business they don't need to negotiate, you know. And a lot of these local contractors, likewise, they're turning away business because they don't have the people to do the work. So you can't negotiate much with them at all. But I'll give you the latest example on my negotiations. DirecTV, I had them for a lot of years, so you know, they give you like a 2-year period where, okay, we're gonna give you this good big discount, you know. So after 2 years, you know, the discount goes away, and then they want to stock you. So I get on the phone and I start looking. I'm gonna cancel. I just told them that, you know. So they said, well, let me see what we got, and they'll usually come up with something.
Geez, Gary.
You know, they'll give you a package, or in my case, they were cutting the cost. And I had the cost of what I watched down for a lot of years down to about 100 and
3 o'clock UTC, so that'd be
this last year.
What would that be?
159.
11 p.m. my time.
Negotiations, and they worked with me for.
See, that'd be cool, man. Jump in on something like that. I should be able to. I don't know where the stations come in from there, DK5.
That's fine. To disconnect me for real. And I did. I got disconnected, and I got rid of them. I'm streaming my TV now to YouTube TV, which is only cost me like $74 a month. And it's got more channels than I can watch. So, yeah, you do reach the end of the line with it. Go ahead, Jerry.
How did you make out up at the Bonnie Ray there? I know he put that Wi-Fi system in. Are you able to get all your streaming off that?
Yeah, we were the first year you put it in. I saw it's the same. We didn't go up last year, but the internet was pretty good. So it was as good as I got down here for sure.
Yeah, the only problem is you can't run the Spectrum app unless you actually pay for their TV. At least that's the way I understand it.
Who's on 3640 right now? There is. I'm seeing somebody on the pen adapter.
But the only problem is he's got a package that he's got the low-level package, and it did not get the Red Sox games. He didn't have nothing, and that's what I do. I like to watch the Red Sox games, so I didn't watch much of his. I got the streaming. I used my own streaming off of his internet up there.
So he must have gave you a username and password, right, for his account with Spectrum?
Negative, Gary.
As I think back, he must have, yes. Yeah.
These guys are very thin audio.
We got the password right.
Jerry's using.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that will work. You got to be somehow subscribing to the Spectrum.
This is Jerry right here. and he's on a 6400, but I think he's using the iPad, his iPad with a headset or something, or a Bluetooth headset to talk into the radio with. It's kind of cool. That's why it's so pinched and thin, but it works really freaking good.
I'm still paying less than I was with all this DirecTV and Spectrum is not cheap either.
I know that was the letter V. Pretty good, huh?
Oh, yeah, you're totally right.
Wow, you're concentrating on multiple things at once, Jerry. That's a CW guy right there.
Do you do CW, Steve?
Good heavens, no. I tried. I really did. I gave it an effort, and being a musician all my life, you'd think that it would come very naturally, and I gave up. I hit the wall, and I had a friend in Rutland, which is about 20 miles north of me, and he's been in the hobby for over 3 decades, and his father was a ham, and he was a big CW guy, and he's like, you think it's like riding a bike, but it's not, and he was in the process of getting back up, getting his chops back, so to speak, being able to copy at speed and being able to, key at speed, back up to, 20 words above 20 per minute. And he was having a hard time, man. And of course, I was starting from ground zero, and I was like, I can't freaking do this, man. I suppose if I had to, I probably would. But, it was a little bit too much. I just couldn't. And it was probably, to be honest with you, it was probably the way I was learning. And to be honest with you, I can't even remember how I was doing it. There are so many different theories on how to learn it, what the best way is. And I can't remember which one I had tried. And I had a friend that was willing to help me, and I just, I'm not a golfer, and I equate CW with golf. And anything that causes an extreme level of anxiety and frustration, I pretty much walk away from, and I think that's what happened. Frank, we talked about that before. I'm the type of person on a golf course that, I'll tell you what, top the ball and the thing goes bouncing across the ground, put a nice smiley face in it, and I'll take the club and I'll throw it in the woods, throw it in a pond, wrap it around the nearest vertical structure I can find. I am not a golfer, and that's what happened with CW.
This guy is getting annoying. Actually, I played yesterday, and first time 18 holes in probably about a year. I'm not too sure. I'll have to go to therapy this morning, though, and then drive to Port Charlotte this afternoon, see my sister for a couple days. So, I don't know. This could be a rough day for me.
Sorry about that, Gary.
I was never very good at CW either. I got my extra at 20 words a minute.
Yeah, drums do a lot of that to you, doesn't it, Gary?
I got my call back in 1960.
Really rough.
I never used it. I really didn't get serious until about 1978, and I had to retest and everything. So I wound up getting an advance on the first try, and then the extra later. But the first 2 years of my ham career, I had a HW 101 Eastgate, and I strictly did CW for probably 2 years. And my limitation was around 20 words per minute because I couldn't write any faster.
Oh.
Most of these guys that can do good CW, they don't write anything down. They can maintain all the letters in their head. They can see the sentences, and they could some of them, I know that I knew, could have a conversation with you and listen in the background and copy. It was incredible. Well, I could only copy as fast as I could write. I can't write much faster than 20 words a minute. So, but over the years, I'm probably comfortable now at maybe 15, so it's slowed down. I don't use it a lot. But yeah, it's not for everybody.
Chile, that's a haul, man.
Thing that they eliminated it because there's a lot of people that just didn't get into the hobby because of the code.
Yeah, good on that one there, DK5.
A lot of good people that are not coders, and they're in the hobby, and it's good for the hobby, so. We don't want the hobby to go away. Go ahead, Jerry. WT1D.
Well, it's interesting because, I mean, I used to do okay. Got up to 18, maybe 20 words per minute. And I used to do it in the younger years, and I totally stopped doing it. And then, excuse me. Of course, I had the stroke, and I tried it a couple of years ago, and I was so frustrated. It was incredible. I have no short-term memory. It's extremely, extremely bad. Example, I'll get up now and go down with the measuring stick and measure how much water is sitting in that pipe at the D-box to the septic system. I'll pull the stick out, I'll measure it with a ruler. If I do not concentrate, by the time I get back in the house, I will not know what that number was. I have to really force myself to remember that number. I got to come in here and write it down right away. And this is what's happening with the code. I just can't retain anything. And I was reading, you got short-term memory, you have temporary memory, where your short-term will transfer to the temp, and you'll keep it there just long enough to what you have to use it for, and then it will transfer to your long-term memory, and then you retain it forever. Well, my short-term is never getting transferred to the temporary because I just can't retain anything. So it's very frustrating. Go ahead, Frank.
Yeah, you certainly don't have.
Hey, thanks for the comment there from Russia.
I think, although you're not 100% back.
We try very hard here. We try to make it a decent effort. The SDR stuff makes it really nice.
One word out of him. It was like, he's just mumbling. And I didn't know what happened. Nobody had told me what happened to him.
Now keep in mind, this audio that I'm piping to the stream is actually the audio going out on the Anon. I'm transmitting 4 kilohertz. The guys just above me, the crew I sit with, are up in the 3630 area, and they look like they're gone right now. Oh, there they are. They're running 8K wide. That's really fun, man. I'll pull this thing out to 8K on transmit and then 8K on receive, and it's.
You started to get words back, right? And I was able to talk to you.
Yeah, I started to. I didn't talk very well, but I was able to start making a lot more sense than the first couple of days.
Freaking Jerry, he's like 40 over.
So, yeah, those were dark days. The highlight, though, as bad as I was, the highlight was about a week later.
Yeah, I'm running.
When Mike's here, he's a coworker of ours.
I'm running for a monitor system when I don't have the cans on. I have a set of reference monitors, and then I have a Polk audio subwoofer which sits on the floor over on my left-hand side. And with the guys running wide, with the Voodoo ESSB audio, I mean, that's why you'll notice there's no pictures on the walls, because I'd have to go back through and straighten all the pictures out, like crack the freaking plaster.
Yeah, maybe he's got a technical issue. He's got to put that little pattern on.
Nah, I'm here. I was just explaining something to the guys on the stream. A lot of comical stuff in there this morning. They were talking. You guys are talking about CW, and Gary. Did you meet Gary? Jerry, he was in here. Was it yesterday morning? I can't remember, or the morning before. And you talk about short-term memory. I don't think I've ever had a stroke, but dude, I'm the exact same way. I cannot remember anything. Like I'll be building something, right, and I'll take a measurement for it, and literally the time it takes to get from the visual mark on the tape measure in the part or piece or whatever I'm trying to measure, or the wire, the time it takes to get from there to write it down on a pad, I forget it. And it's really scary. Now, other things, I have like mine like a steel trap, you know what I mean? I capture it. I got a photographic memory. I can see something and replicate it out of memory. But the short-term stuff, forget it, dude. And I think it might have a lot to do, for me personally, I think it has to do with maybe I am a little ADD or something, or once my mind engages and I get going, and I can't focus. You know what I mean? Have a hard time like locking in and really focusing because I'm always thinking like one step ahead. Well, you can't do that. You got to stay in the moment and retain what you're actually seeing. And I'll say this all the time to people on the system. You know, the new folks I may meet, and we get into a long QSO with someone, and make sure I'm not doubling. Oh, good. Geez, I just thought to myself, I wonder if I'm doubling with Frank or something. And, you know, I'll say, you know, just because I don't comment on something doesn't mean I don't hear it. A lot of times I'll come back to something even a day later. You know, I hear it and I'll remember it, but I just, for some reason, I get on the set of train tracks, you know, and you guys will get talking about something and I can't get off. So you'll start to move around on the subject matter and I'll never comment on it. Well, it doesn't mean I don't hear it. Go ahead, Jerry, for any kind of ridicule or comment you may have. K1 GMM.
Yeah, no, it's the same way with me. It's crazy. And, you know, I've always been one step ahead in my thinking, you know, especially when you're working, you're trying to solve problems and stuff like that. And then you'll work with a coworker who is the total opposite. And I can't deal with it. You know, I mean, you got to get things done. You got to get them done now. You don't have a month to do it. So you don't have the luxury to sit there and think everything out. But you wonder who's better off, because the person that has the capability to take his time and think everything out, maybe in the long run he's going to be better off. Go ahead.
Yeah, right. My wife, you know, all of the garbage, the stuff I do, you know, isn't pretty. It's about the ugliest thing you'd ever see. There's a guy, you know John. I think he's jumped in a couple times, W2JON. He's down in Pennsylvania. And I'll tell you what, dude, this guy, he's not an engineer by trade. He's, I think he's in IT or something. And if you look, he's got a 3D printer with a lathe and all of the tooling right in his garage, like commercial type tooling. And the stuff that he cranks out, man, it is full-blown commercial. Using very inexpensive pieces. He'll take like a piece of PVC, like a 1-inch piece of PVC, and he'll build an antenna, and all of the components in that antenna he'll manufacture using a 3D printer. And when you see it, you know, autonomous rotator systems, the boxes, the harness, everything looks like it was literally cranked out of a freaking commercial facility. You know, for pennies on the dollar. And see, I do everything, and I mean, it's a hodgepodge. It's an absolute butchery. It works. Most of the stuff works. But my point is that, you know, my wife keeps telling me, she says, you know, you really missed your calling. She said, I should have been an engineer, because I can see something, I can troubleshoot, and I can come up with ways to do things using extremely inexpensive materials, and they work every bit as good. And that's kind of, you know what I'm saying? That's kind of like an engineering. It's the creative side. And it ain't pretty. Like I said, it's pretty ugly, but oftentimes it works, you know. A lot of people, you know, look at the station I have here, and guys, especially new hams, and they're like, good God, how much money do you have in that? I said, about $4,000. And that includes all of the antennas. And this was before I bought the Anon. So I would say about $5,700, because I got $1,700 in this radio. Now you look at it and you go, no. But I'm the cheapest bastard you'd ever meet. You know, I paid $200 for the amplifier, $225 for the tuner. The 7300 was the most expensive component. The rest is coax and wire. Everything I make is just, you know, go out and buy, at that time, it was like a $35 spool of wire, you know, 500 feet of it. Now it's like, what, $50 or something like that? But, you know, and coax I was getting cheap from Jafetech, all LMR 400, and I'd get 100 feet of that for $60, you know. So you start doing the math, and you go, geez, man, you don't have to spend a lot of money on a station. You know, but looks are deceiving. If you look behind everything, and if you look at everything closely, you realize the entire thing is held together with zip ties and duct tape. Go ahead, Frank.
WTO indeed. Well, I wish mean, like the first computer we bought was, what the heck was the name of that thing? They spent over $1,000, right? It was a green screen with like 16K of memory and had a DOS system on it. Didn't know how to use it, didn't do much, and on from there. But speaking of 3D printers, I saw this show last night, and I told Jerry about it. He showed him building a house with a 3D printer.
Oh, Blue Ocean. Oh, freaking awesome signal he throws in here, DK5. Awesome.
Unbelievable. And,
great audio, too. Some of the best audio on DX sideband.
Could close this house in, and then they, of course, start working on the inside. But as far as the memory thing and all that, I'm not much different than you guys. I played in the band all those years, Steve, and I would sing a song every Saturday night, and I'd have to read the words. I couldn't remember the words. I still can't. I can't remember one song with all the words. We had the cheap books. I had the cheap book in front of me with the chords, the guitar chords and the words down. So the only way I could function in the band. So, there's limitations everybody has.
Hey, good morning, Carl. What's going on, Cap?
Yeah, you just got to work around your limitations. That's all. Know what they are and try to work around them. Everybody's different. That's for sure. All right, guys, I'm going to jump out of here. It's my breakfast time. I'm going to go get breakfast and maybe be back here at 7:30 or so. I'm not sure. So everybody have a great day, and we'll connect later. W1JWC. Go ahead, Steve.
Hey, Jerry. We'll see you later, man. Have a good day. It's fun to talk about this stuff. And I'll put it over to you, Frank, and then I got a comment you can sign with Jerry there. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay, Jerry. Take care, and we'll talk to you later. I probably won't be around. I got to jump in the shower here when I finish up with Steve and get ready for therapy, and then we're heading south to Port Charlotte. So take care. Go ahead, Steve.
Very good. Yeah. Did you hear from Vito Bandito this morning, Frank?
Jerry had asked me a question. Hold on a minute, Steve. Yeah, I will be. I will be remote. I'm going to have my. I got to put my whip on my car for one thing, so I'll have the radio in the car, and of course I'll be able to get into Virginia. So yeah, I will. So take care. We'll talk to you later. What was the question, Steve?
Oh, did you hear from Vito or Angelo this morning?
No, nobody came on. So they haven't been coming in real early. They usually come in about the time I'm ready to sign. Vito will, but Angelo's been coming in. When he does come in, he comes in around 6:30ish, because he usually leaves around 7 for work. But I didn't hear him this morning. No.
Yeah. Do you know Rudy? I had a great chat with Rudy. Don't ask me his call sign. He's up in Ontario, I think. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I have trouble understanding him, but yes.
Yeah, he was, I'll tell you what, Frank, he was explaining to me, I'm actually glad I captured it on the stream yesterday. He came in, it was late. I think it may have been like 7:30 and, yeah, probably 7:30ish. And, he's running that folded dipole, 80-meter folded dipole, which I don't think I've ever talked to anybody running that, running one of those. And it's a monobander. Has he explained that thing to you? He throws the biggest, baddest signal on 400 watts of any station I've ever heard from the Ontario area on that antenna. I'm tempted to build one and put one up, man. That's how impressive it was. Crazy thing, dude. It's basically, he explained it to me, it's basically a full wave loop compressed, runs out from the feed point out to the end. So it's about as long as a half-wave dipole, but it's basically a full wavelength of wire. And then it goes around an end insulator down 15 inches and then back all the way across using 15-inch spacers, and then out to the other end, and then back up 15 inches and then back to the feed point. And I'll tell you what, dude, that was really impressive. I asked him if he worked DX on it too, and he says, "Oh yeah." So I'm always looking for other options, and that because this antenna I'm on is not a DX antenna. This, as you know, this is just a cloud burner. Everything's going straight up on this thing. Over.
Yeah, Roger. I'll have to take a look at how those things are put together. The folded dipole. I'm really not aware of. I've never seen one, or I don't know really how they're put together. I'll tell you what. Have you ever heard of a double bazooka? I listen to before we get on the weather net in the morning, I listen to the Nut Factory. And they're on from 4:30 to 5:30 on 3906. And there's two guys on there. One guy's up in Michigan. And the other guy, I'm not sure exactly where he's from, but they got like the strongest signals of all of that group, except for the guy who kind of runs it. He's in the Carolinas, and he's a little closer to me, but in Virginia. But these guys that run the double bazookas really put out a strong signal. And I looked that up the other day, and I had built something similar years ago. It was called a mystery antenna. It was put out by a W5 guy that he's long past. Whereas what they do is it's a dipole, but you feed the center. The double bazookas like that, where you feed you use coax for the elements, and you feed the shield, and then I think the second part is you break it and you tie the shield to the center conductor or something. I don't know. It's done with coax. Have you ever heard of it?
No, I have not. I may have seen it and not realized what it was, but no. I've heard of mystery antenna. I've heard of that before. I'm wondering if that's the exact antenna you're referring to. But I just had a friend of mine recommend that to me the other day. And I was thinking about it yesterday morning, believe it or not, a double bazooka. They are, there's a lot of different opinions on it. They're like, well, it's really no different than a dipole. Well, yes, it is. It's a lot different. I've talked to guys that use them, and they're weapons, man. They're good as far as a single length piece of whatever antenna. You're not talking about a beam or a loop or anything like that takes up a lot of room. But yeah, I'm not going to build one. Probably buy it. That's one antenna I'd buy because the amount of time it would take to construct it, and I'd probably screw it up. Is there a particular manufacturer? Because I haven't looked, Frank, of those double bazookas. The particular manufacturer that you've seen, do you know anything about them? Who makes the best one? Because I know you want it to be durable, and if you go cheap on those things, you'll end up, we get a lot of wind here, as you know. And if I pull that up between two trees, I'll have it floating on pulleys and stuff, but I wouldn't want it torn apart. It's not like just a piece of 14-gauge wire. Over.
Well, I didn't do a lot of looking into it. I think I looked it up, and what did I find?
Cloud burner. That's exactly what this is, man. 83 to 87 degrees of radiation angle on this antenna.
I guess I'd have to go back in and do some more searching. You can do some searching. And it's basically a dipole, but of course, when you buy a factory made, they just put a little bit. They put it together better than I would do it. I'm not real good at constructing stuff. Although I put up these two antennas. I've got my loop, which I did a real good job on, and I've got a 130-foot long wire. They both work pretty good. By the way, my tube amp failed. Looks like one of the tubes went, and it blew up my bias resistor on the 811A.
Oh, crap.
So I'm down from Florida for now, and I'm heading to Port Charlotte today, so I won't be back until the last part of the weekend. And we'll work on that, try to get it back together. I have a couple spare tubes. I hope they're okay. I don't know. But
cold in here.
It ticks me off because I had just bought these 4 tubes, and that set. And, these tubes that come from China, I don't think they're the same as when we bought RCAs and American, stuff made in America.
No, that's what everybody's saying about the tubes.
I'll tell you, the stuff from China. So, I don't you're kind of caught in the middle here as far as keeping tube amps going. I only tune it. I tune it at 10 watts in, and it blew on tune-up. So I can't see where I did anything wrong. I was in the right band and doing everything the way I normally do it. It just popped, So, and I only had put these tubes in. Well, I put them in a year ago, but I've only been using this amp for a little while here now. So anyway,
Gary, you going to be around in the system in a little while?
Like I said, get the day rolling.
I'll try and catch you on All-Star.
And I got to get the shower and go to therapy early this morning here too. So you have to look these.
There's Angelo. Gotcha, Angelo.
But they're pretty easy to find. Just do a search for Double Bazooka. Back to you, WT1B.
3 KBC.
There's a couple KBC. Good morning, K1GMM Steve in southwestern Vermont. Good morning to Angelo. And I have not looked at the tubes. Of course, I'm on the old AL80A. I heard someone saying that the 3500s are not particularly cheap anymore. They're actually pretty frightening. And I've heard a lot about that. These tubes. I don't know the 3500s. I think they get them. Aren't they Russian or something like that? I don't know. I can't remember, but I never wanted to go the solid state route, but I'm telling you, I don't know if this thing were to grenade and it cost me, X amount of dollars to just bring it back to life, seeing as how the thing's 30 years old. I don't know if I would, just because of the sheer cost of, you know what I'm saying? But I'm awful nice to it. I'm only pushing 350 right now, 350 watts. But your signals. You're coming in from Virginia, right, Frank? And I know you're not going to hold it, so let me get the other guys in here. You can say hello to them. Push it up to Angelo there. Good morning, buddy. Hope all is well. And then you can send it over to quickly over to the Charlie Bravo that just came in. Didn't catch his prefix there. Go ahead, Angelo. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Steve. Frank down there, if you're hearing me, Frank, I hear you fine up here. Yeah, I got up late there, and I never got on there this morning, and I caught the bit there on that double bazooka there. When I first time I went down to Vito's, I brought an 80-meter one and a 40-meter one, and what do you call it? They work quite well. I made them out of a 75 ohm coax, just the RG6U, right? And they work, but to make a good one, they're bulky, right? You need a good piece of like an RG8 or something like that. You make it out of that, make it out of 50 ohms, So, but bazookas, they're very broad-banded, okay, very, very broad-banded. So, you get them tuned to where you want them. Cut exactly you can probably go, I think, around 80, 90, even 100 hertz, up or down from the frequency, right? And it won't change the SWR, right? And you use just 50 ohm, match it up with 50 ohms. That's it. That's what I found, anyway. The only trouble, I have one for 40. It works really good, and it's under 1-to-1 from one end of the band to the other. So there you go.
Wow.
But it's made out of. I feed it with 50 ohms, and the actual radiator is a 75 ohm coax RG6U. That's satellite stuff, right? But to make a good one, it's heavy. Out of our RG8 or something like that, right? And in my case, by the way, Steve, right? It won't. I can't put it to go south, south and north. I can only east and west. So that's why I went the loop route, and that's what I've had up here for 6-7 years or something like that. Anyway. Okay, Frank. Good morning. By the way, maybe I'll catch you on 20 this afternoon. Give me a text if you're going to go on, and I'll send over there to Don there. Good morning, Don. VA3 ACO.
VA3 ACO, VA3 KBC. Thanks, Angelo. Vito told me about this group here last night, so I thought I would come in and make my presence known. I don't know what the format is here or anything, so I will just sit quietly on the side for maybe another 10 minutes and then go have my breakfast. So 18 degrees Fahrenheit here, Lampley Shore, Southern Ontario. I'm just a half a mile walk overlooking the banks of Lake Huron. I run a Flex 6300 RA27ND microphone. ACOM 1010 running about 500 watts, and I have 160 meter doublet, 242 feet up at 66 foot apex. And then for 160 and 80, and then 40, 20, and 17, I have a Mosley Signal Master S33, which is 40 meters, 20 and 17, 3 elements, and 3 band, at 50 feet. So that's kind of my story here. More information is on my QRZ page with my fold-over tower and stuff like that. So I'll hand it back over to whoever is running this thing. So thank you for letting me step in here. Victor Alpha 3 Kilo, Bravo Charlie.
Yeah, we'll go to Frank there. You've talked to Frank before on 160, Don. Go ahead there, Frank.
Yeah, Whiskey Tango, 1 Bravo. We're down in Florida, Don. Yeah, I did talk to you. I remember about
I'm
160.
Here.
I got in there a couple times.
Oh, God. Everything's gone to hell in a handbasket. Vito's in.
One of these times. And Angela, you were in that at the one time.
He's got a good signal, doesn't he? Really good. He was 30 over at one point. That's good for this time of the day, folks, because the band is shifting. If you look at the gray line map, I'm past gray line. I'm in daylight now. So let me get over to the... Yeah, so these guys are right in here, so they have gray line approaching. They're probably right on sunrise. This actually line right here is sunrise. I'm right here, so I'm past sunrise. Technically, even though it's not over the mountain, but D-layer absorption is becoming pretty severe right now. So
I haven't seen them in through all this COVID and stuff.
You're going to see the band just all of a sudden slam shut probably to Ontario. Maybe not. Maybe it'll stay okay, but...
Okay, I remember reading that about the bazooka, the broadband, and part of it, it's a good broadband antenna. And Don, by the way, there's no real format here. It's just, we throw it around, and if you get something to say, you say it, and there's no big deal. It's just a random conversation going on. There's nobody runs this. It runs itself, basically. So you're welcome to join anytime. We always welcome anybody coming in. Good to hear you. Let me pass it up to Steve. I'm going to go a couple rounds here and then probably get out of here and get ready for the therapy. Back to you, Steve. WT1B.
K3VI.
Oh, there goes the flippin' neighborhood. Yeah, it's a free-for-all, Don. And Vito will attest to that. He's kind of like Jerry's the godfather. I had to correct myself before. Jerry's the godfather of 1.5, and he's gone now. Well, I shouldn't say that. He signed off a little bit ago. I'll stick it over to him. And good to hear you, Don, by the way. And boy, good signal. 30, peaking 30 over, but I just looked at gray line map, and things are starting to get a little wonky. I'm well past gray line now. I don't know where you're at. I was just looking at it. So things are going to get a little shifty, I think. Go ahead, Vito. What's going on? And send it back up to Angelo, and you can put it back around. K1 GMM.
Okay, I'll say good morning to everybody. I think Don is in there. He said he was going to come in this morning from last night. Angelo, how are you? How's the new truck running?
Hey, good morning. Good morning. It's okay. I got about 110 kilometers on it. So yeah, a little bit different. Boy, you got to watch your foot though. Man, that thing flies, Vito.
Depends on the band, DK5.
I can come
For me, 80 meters, no way. 2 hours is too long. Pretty much slammed shut.
Yeah, you don't want to have your foot on that thing there.
Out to 300 miles, yes, but you'll notice.
Yeah, it's big though. My wife said.
You'll notice these guys on 3630. These are the guys running 8K wide right here. You're going to see these guys start to fade because they're out.
So many gadgets on there, right? And
they're out in here. They're right here. So once they move completely into the light and D-layer sets up, you'll see them. If I work them, I have to work them at like 5, 6 in the morning, 6:30. Once we get to 7:30, it becomes very difficult on this band.
Vito. And it's cold, man. At least I don't have to go outside and start it, Could do that from inside. So, anyways, my little treat there. But what are you going to do? Oh, well, see, I have to keep on working now, Vito. See, you tell me to retire. I got to keep
40's
on going.
a great band, though, man. 40's probably my favorite band.
Yeah, they were just
for DXing and stuff. It's just a great band.
He was talking about the bazooka there. I brought the two of them. They worked out. They were good. When I bring a 40 and an 80 or something down there when I came down that one year. But then it was, yeah. I don't know. Still, everybody can say whatever, the bazookas and everything else, right? I don't know. For me, this thing works good. It all depends where you're where you're located too, and what kind of ground you got underneath that wire.
Location.
I don't know.
It's all about location.
That's by reading. Steve, I'm always
location,
wires and stuff, right? And now with this weather, I can't do nothing. So I want to put a 40 meter array, right? And for I think about I don't know. They're only you've talked to who's it? Ed down there in Pennsylvania near Vito's there, and that thing, man, that get out like gangbusters, Steve. You know who I'm talking about there. The guy who always talks to John down there in South Carolina, right? Anyway, yeah, and oh wow, okay, yeah, you can check out Don's QRZ there. Wow, he's pretty good there with his hands and his head there, and
oh my God,
that's pretty neat.
See, this is what's happening.
There,
Look at this.
You can just drop
Look at how strong that signal was. Look at this. 3630. This is what the band does.
And, up she goes again.
All of a sudden, it's shifting right now. Look at how strong he is.
Check it out, anyways.
Strongest all morning. They're right at gray line, and that's.
Beam, though. I'd love to have that 40
all of a sudden, you'll see those signals start to fade now.
Part of the woods here.
That's what happens. They get really strong.
Back to you there, Don. VA3ACO.
Okay, thanks, Angelo. VA3KBC here. I was just looking at Steve's QRZ page. Really nice, yeah. I love your audio too, Steve. I just love the little bit of that echo. I had the UR6 QW box. I've taken it out of line and just running this flex here with EQ in it, but I don't know if Angelo knows. I think I told Vito, but I don't know if Angelo knows yet. I'm getting I got to send the check off today. I purchased an on.
Okay, Carl. We'll see you later, buddy.
DLE,
have a great day.
Mark II. It's only about 6 months old, so getting that and. Out of West Virginia, the guy.
I'm on this band most because
a lot of his equipment
of the bottom of the cycle. I just tend to gravitate to this band all the time. Love it.
Yeah, Tabasco, but
made a lot of good friends on here.
Indulge me here for a second.
Happy breakfast.
It's the for crying out loud. I'm over 60, and the memory's the first to go, and I don't remember what the next thing is. Anyhow, Appalachian Trail. Him and his son. They're going to walk that.
WD4A Alpha Bravo. Good morning, man. Thank you.
4 or 5 months they plan on doing it. But anyhow.
That is a sound card. That's the M Audio Air that provides audio to the Anon, the Apache Labs.
The coupler and everything else. Everything will be kind of plug and play. All I have to do is get his file, and I'll load it into the computer, and it should be up and running fairly quickly. So, and the wife says just keep my lecture, but I think I'm going to sell it. I'm going to sell it with the laptop. So everything is just, you'll be able to just take it and hook up the coax power supply, and you'll be good to
see,
go.
he's down to about 15 over.
The individuals called in.
Yeah, so band shifting. There you go.
Kind of
we lost.
The only issue
15 dB since when he first came in.
Here, it only puts out about 60 watts. But with the amplifier, it doesn't really matter. It works fine. So, the fold-over tower, that was kind of just a thought. With that big beam and that, I have a guy that would always come out with his bucket truck, tree service, and he'd put my towers up and take them down and so on and so forth. But
Yeah.
His truck was laid up. He had to put another engine in it, and then he had to do some work on the body, and then the boom and all that, because they have to be inspected and tested every year. So I got thinking, rather than having to get Al out here, and sometimes
What's really fascinating about this band is watching as, especially around the gray line areas, how it gets very shifty, and you'll see it shift to different QTHs, kind of pop open, close up, pop open, close up to different QTHs within, several hundred miles of each other. It's just, you can tell D-Layer is, I've seen it literally slam the door shut in a matter of literally, 5 seconds. I've seen crazy stuff, just literally boom. They go from like a 30 over into an S9, S7.
That's my story, as they say, and I'm sticking to it. Back to you, Steve. K1GMM, DA3KBC.
Okay, Don. Yeah, nice. I gotta look you up here. Let me see if I can 3ABC. And thanks for the comments on the audio. Here, I'm running an Apache Labs 200D, and the antenna is a full wave horizontal loop at 42 feet with a reflector underneath it at ground level, matched with 75 ohm, a direct match 75 ohm coax for the bottom portion of this band. Just a cloud burner, that's all it is. Part the skies, that's all I use this thing for. And yes, I do have some gear running in the background. Not a lot, it's not expensive, but really, like the Aphex 204 is what brings everything to life. That's what makes it all happen, It's like, even on the Anon, it's like taking a nitromethane funny car engine and jamming it into a Volkswagen Beetle. That's what I compare it to. It's an unwieldy beast at times, so trying to get things under control can be problematic, but as Vito would say, simple is good. And you sound great coming in. Double bazookas you were talking about. I'll tell you what, Angelo, that's what I was going to mention to Angelo, and I'll keep this brief and I'll put it down to, I don't know if Frank's still in here, so I'm going to put it over to Frank, and he may want to sign clear if he can still hear us. I know things are getting shifty. Angelo, what you may want to look at? I thought of this yesterday, is a double bazooka phased array. I don't know if I told you about that. I worked a guy, he was down in, this was on 40 meters. It's a commercial system. You can basically run one line, let's say from the tower to another support, and hang the centers of these things. I think they're spaced around 20-something feet apart. They run as inverted V's, and I'll tell you, man, it's a beam, and it's a steerable beam. This guy had it set up so he could steer it electronically in slow motion. And we're talking like 30 dB of front to back on this thing, and it was awesome. It was one of the most awesome antenna systems I've ever heard in my life, firsthand. I was working him on 40 meters in a round table. And he said, there's somebody coming in from Florida, and they knew who it was. He said, well, I'll demo it for you, and I'll just turn it slowly. And he had some kind of phase control system on that thing, and he spun that thing in slow motion, and he went from like a 30 over to literally right into the noise. I could not believe my ears. That may be an option for you. I think the control system he had was fairly elaborate. I don't know if he built it. I couldn't tell you, but these are, you can get them commercially made. But don't ask me how expensive they are. They're a double bazooka phased array. Absolute weapons. Go ahead, Frank, if you're still in there, man, and you can send it over to Vito Bandito.
Okie dokie, WT1B. I'll make this my last one. I've got to get in the shower and get ready for therapy this morning. I would love to have enough area to put up something like that. Of course, we did have that when we were up in Vermont. We had the 5 acres up there. I could have done a lot of things up there. I had a nice beam up. I had a nice station up in Vermont. But down here, we're in a deed-restricted area, of course, like most Floridians. and you got to hide them. You can't let anybody see your antennas. So, hey, Don, that picture on QRZ is pretty effective with the background, the red background. I kind of like that. That's pretty impressive. And you know, you talked about, you mentioned about trying to think of that word in your memory. Like, you should have joined us about maybe a half an hour ago when Jerry was in here. We spent about 20 minutes all of us talking about our memory problems and memory losses and problems with CW because of memory, and as we're getting older, things are slowing down, but don't feel alone there, buddy. Okay, Leah, I'm going to get out of here. I'll pass it on to Vito. And good morning, Vito. You sound really good. Everybody's nice and strong, by the way. Good and strong into Virginia, where my remote station is. So I'm going to pass it to Vito. I'm going to say something trees, and you guys have a great day, and we'll catch you in the morning. K3VI, WT1B.
Okay, Frank. Yeah, I gotta go to the back house here. I've been waiting for it to go around, but I'll be back if you guys are still gonna be in there. I gotta hit the John, so I'll be back in a few minutes. K3VI, go ahead, Angela.
See you, Frank.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
7 trees, Frank will catch you later there, and if you get a chance when you're gone, get on there. We'll listen out for you. Okay. Have a good one there. Have a good holiday at the same time, eh?
Roger. Okay, we'll see you guys. Good talking.
Okay, Vito's gone to the sandbox there. Okay, well, over to you there, Don. And, before, Steve, send me some info on that phase bazooka there, inverted. I'll have a look at it, see if I can squeeze something in here. But, of course, we can't do nothing here. It's too cold yet, right? So we've got to wait for the weather to change here. Go ahead there, Don. VA3 ATO.
Okay, VA3 KBC, very good. Angela, for crying out loud, we're in Canada. You're a Canadian. Tough it up, boy. Get out there and start working on the antenna. You know, look at what we did when we put the beam up. It was snow on the ground. It was cold. Well, it was only 32 degrees out, and wasn't no wind, so it wasn't too bad. And the funny thing is, you know, you look at the pictures, and later on, sun shining and no snow on the ground. So we picked a good day to do it. But other than that, it's always fun experimenting with antennas and that kind of stuff. So, anyhow, 7:31. I think Carol's up now, and going to go up and get some breakfast. I'm getting kind of hungry. Get my day started. I got to go to the bank and get that bank draft and get that mailed off to Nate, so he can get his money. And looking forward to getting the Anon. And I have a 32-inch TV we use upstairs in the kitchen. It's kind of large there. It was one at Walmart they had on sale, so bought it fairly cheap. I'm going to put the small one back up there, and just for TV in the kitchen. Sometimes we like to watch something while we're having supper or whatever. I'm going to get another computer because the desktop I have isn't enough power. And then I found a Lenovo online for $320. This is Canadian, and it's got i5 and solid state drive, so it should do the trick for me. And I got to change my top shelf here. I'm going to take my shelf apart, cut it down, and then redo it. And then my laptop, I'll pull it out of there because it's up fairly high there. So I'll move it out of the way, lower the shelf down so it's just above the amp and the tuner. And the vent at the back where the tube is, it'll still have air movement because the top shelf isn't as wide as the amp. So get that lowered, and then put the smart TV up there to run things. So be a little bit more, I don't know, just something different. I got to keep doing something. Jesus, this retirement thing is starting to, I got to keep doing something. That's why I want spring to come here and the weather to turn so I can get doing my gardening. And I got some other projects, outdoor projects I want to do. So anyhow, that's it. I better get going here. My coffee's starting to work. I think you know what I mean. I got to pull a veto here. So, thanks for letting me join you guys. Now that I know that you guys are here in the morning after on 160, I'll maybe join you here for a little bit, and I'll be the adult supervisor in the room. Make sure there's no fights or pulling of hair, biting of ears, and stuff like that. So. Anyhow, thanks, guys. Have a good day, and we'll talk to you later. Victor Alpha 3 Kilo Bravo Charlie.
See you, Don. Have a great day.
Okay, Don, we'll catch you later. I haven't been getting on 40 or 160. I was tied up there, and I was doing stuff, and by the time I got on there, it was already time to hit the old hay there. Okay, I'll try to... I'll try to see if I get on there later on, maybe tonight or we'll see what happens there. Okay. I was going to throw up, by the way, Don, I was going to throw up that other piece of wire. You remember that for the inverted L, right? On the south side of the tower, right? And I got it ready, as soon as I get a nice day.
Okay.
Throw it up. Anyways, we'll catch you maybe a bit later on. Have a good day there, Don. 7-3. I might get on 40 later on this afternoon. 7-3. Go ahead there, Steve.
All right, Vito is back. So really quick, and then I'll send it over to Vito. And Don, good to hear you, man. Yeah, going. The only person you're going to have to really keep track of is Jerry. He's kind of off the rails at times. Rather funny, but pretty cruel person sometimes. The practical jokes that he does. Frank and Vito can attest to that. Vito's a close second, I think. So yeah, you got to keep an eye on probably those two. I don't know who's the butt of more jokes. Would it be Frank? Yeah, Frank probably. I think Jerry's pretty harsh at times. I am looking for that Angelo, and I cannot find that antenna. It was commercially made. It was made here in the States, and I can't find it. I'll keep looking for it. I'm looking for it right now. I know for a fact that it was a commercial antenna system. It was made here and this was like 4 years ago. I looked it up, and I can't find it. So I'll keep looking. I mean, you can build one yourself. You can take two double bazookas for 40 meters, set them 20 feet apart, and phase them to go two different directions. You know what I'm saying? That's not difficult. That's actually pretty easy to do. So you can make it yourself. But it would be worth actually purchasing the bazookas to do it. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, down to Vito. I'll keep looking here, see if I can find the freaking thing. Maybe the company's out of business. I mean, who knows? I know a lot of places, in the past year have suffered. So go ahead, Vito. K1 GMM.
How's that you?
Oh, Rudy's in there. I hear you, Rudy. Okay, very good. Very good. Okay, Don is still in there. Angelo's gonna be hanging like when they put clothes on a line with the clothespins. He puts any antennas up. I know Angelo wants to do a lot of stuff, but he's limited. What are you gonna do? Oh boy. Oh. Okay, I feel much better now, Steve. Yeah, I tell you, I was turning purple over here, and. Angelo's gonna be in that new episode there, Fury, Cars of Fury, Trucks of Fury. Now he's got 390,000 horsepower there. Boy, he's gonna fly down there, right past the tolls. Okay, very good. Let me turn it over to Don, and then he can turn it over to Rudy over there, RZU. Go ahead, Don.
Yeah, Don's gone for breakfast, I think. Vito. Hey, good morning, Rudy. How you doing, Rudy? VA3ACO. Go ahead there, Rudy.
Okay, Angelo. Good morning to you and Vito and Steve and I don't know who else is in there, but anyway. Good
30
morning,
over.
Everybody's sounding good. I'm on my old crate here, my homebrew amplifier. And by the way, Vito, remember the 2 meters you sent me for the what is that? The NCL 2000.
All right, guys.
2 meters that you
This is Rudy. He is on the folded 80-meter folded dipole, hands down 40 over. 40 over on a closed band. The sun is up. Out of Ontario, the biggest signal I have ever heard out of Ontario on the given amount of power. He's 40 over. I'm telling you, I'm going to build one of these freaking things, man. That thing is insane.
For sure. And everything is okay here. It's sunny, bright and sunny. Don't ask me what the temperature is, but last night when I went to bed
the freaking pan adapter.
was minus 19. So don't know what it is. Supposed to.
Look at where my AGC is. It's almost shut off. It's on 18.
Something today, but don't know what time.
He only runs like 400 watts of power.
Anyway, I may go to the grocery later if the sun stays out there.
What a wicked antenna.
I throw it back to you, Vito, and good morning to you, Steve. I copy you very well, too.
Heaven.
Call again, K3VI, V3LW.
Yeah, never seen a signal like that at this time of the day out of Ontario. Now, look at this. Vito is about the same distance away in Pennsylvania, and he usually runs about 700 watts. So he's about, 40 over. That's 20. That's 25 dB. That's the equivalent to 6 times the power right there. And Vito's running more power on a full wave loop. So that gives you an idea how that antenna works. Now, granted, they're 2 different QTHs, but I'm sorry, man, that's undeniable. That is just a freaking craziest crap I've ever seen.
You know, I like to see them. Yeah, because you sound like you're very meticulous, you know, and that's good. That's good. That's very good. Okay, let's see. Everybody's gone. Dan went to eat. Don went to eat. Hey, Angelo, are you leaving or are you going to stay here?
Oh, I have to do something.
Okay, so Angelo is on a full wave loop. He's 10 over, 15 over. Same exact area, QTH. 10 to 15 over, and freaking Rudy is 40 over. There you go. That's undeniable. It's freaking epic.
Later on this afternoon, I'm probably on 40. Maybe I might be, if I hear anybody, I'll be on 40 there probably, somewhere, okay? And
of course, could have a lot to do with location.
Well, he's going away, he said, but if he was going to go on 20 or something, right, to send me a text, right? But I guess he said he's going down to.
So impressed with that antenna. God,
somewhere for a few days.
I'm going to build one.
Florida, so,
absolutely going to build one.
He might get on bring his laptop.
That's going to be the next project. Folded dipole for this band.
Right? So, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, okay. Steve, on that, right? Yeah, they do work, you know. But you know something, though? Believe it or not, don't forget, you make it out of the coax, right? And it's like they have the ones an 80-40 meter. I don't know. I've had 2 of them. They don't work. They don't work. Piss poor. They don't work that good. Vito. I sent one down to Vito that time, and they're not as good as what they say. I don't know. I don't find them good at all. But like I said, I've made them. The only thing that I like to try to make one, like I said, the 50, make it out of RG8, or 213 or something, right? And the only trouble, you got to remember, though, you're going to put the whole antenna is 50 ohms, so really, you really don't need a balun whatsoever, right? Steve, go ahead.
Yeah, right. And you said something earlier, Angelo, and I do swear by this. Location, location, location. It is about the location. You can't cheat location, as I know. I live in a very difficult, probably one of the most difficult areas to do anything with RF. I'm in a very deep hole in basically a canyon, and I'm flanked by at 500 feet in elevation. I have a 4,000 footer literally right behind the house on the west side. I live at the base of it, and the reason why I know it's 50 to 60 degrees of elevation angle going over the top of the peak is because I work satellites, and that's the elevation on the satellite antenna system I need to actually hit a bird. So you know, in the amount of attenuation that I have oftentimes on certain bands is quite harsh. It's pretty brutal. And another reason I know this is I can light the radio up here, and I can throw just the portable magnetic loop into the car with the 857, run up top of the hill. And if I got an S5 on, let's say, a particular station, and I get up and out of this valley, he's going to be an S9 plus 10. You know what I'm saying? On a magnetic loop. And I'm talking the difference between two full wave phased delta loops, which are bodacious. It's a 2-element full wave loop beam on 20 meters and just a little 3-foot diameter magnetic loop. And yeah, that's a lot of attenuation just by being in this valley. So yeah, the location is everything. And I always say this, man. Sometimes, you know, you come upon an antenna system that works really good at your QTH and it may not work somewhere else. You know, can't remember the guy's name. He's up in Ontario somewhere. He's on 40 meters all the time and no amplifier. And he lives on, I don't know what it is. He's got like copper mines or something like that all around him. Holy crap, you ought to see the signal that guy throws. You probably know who I'm talking about. He's on 40, and he'll get in there and he'll start pounding away on 40 meters. And it just kills it, absolutely kills it. It works all over the place, but it's that ground. You know, he lives in a really good place. So, yeah, location does matter for sure, Angelo. Go ahead.
Oh, that's the guy on 40 meters. That's the net in the afternoons, I think. Is that the way? I guess on 72550 or 51 or something. Yeah. Well, what do you expect? All the nickel under that ground there, and whatever else is under there. The copper mines are up there. Nickel, copper. Yeah. That's about 4.5 hours north of where I live, Steve. By the way, okay. And yeah,
wow.
Where Sudbury. That's up in Sudbury. If that's the same guy, right? On 40 every day, and he also does a farm net or some kind of a farm net or something. Anyways, yeah, that's right. But you know, it is a local.
Hey, 983, man. Good morning. Good afternoon.
Even there used to be a guy I used to talk to all the time on 40. I don't think I ever.
VA3 JPX.
Steve, okay. But 40, 20.
I think it's 16 gauge, believe it or not. VA3 JPX. It's built with. If you go to yesterday's stream towards the end, you'll get the specs on it.
Flat rock, right? And it was I think about 300 to 400 feet above.
Yeah, Steve, you're right on with that
Ocean,
one.
You know, so it was right on the coast there, and its location, you know. And I would like to. I've never talked to anybody on the island where my wife comes from, and I've been there I've been there quite a few times in Newfoundland also. But it's an island off the coast, and it takes about, if the water's not rough or nothing, maybe 40, 45 minutes sometimes with a big ferry, right? It only carries like about 25, 30 cars, and passengers, right? And on that island there, right? If you look at up Bell Island, right? There used to be over 20,000 people on that island. There's maybe 2,000-3,000 there on that island there now. But they had 5 iron ore mines, okay, and they go down and under the ocean, under the bay there in the okay, and 10 to 15 kilometers.
You can tell the wife turned the coffee maker on the Keurig. Look at the pan adapter.
4 or 5 years ago,
throws all this hash and trash across the pan adapter. See these humps? That means the coffee maker's on. It's got like switching power supplies in it or something. I love the coffee maker, but what a pain in the ass when it's on.
And then there was water, but I guess and it wasn't water from the ocean. It was all from rain and whatever that filled up in the years, right? But they used to have the best grade of iron ore in there. So can you imagine on top of putting an antenna on that island there?
That's freaking crazy.
And have a good ground radio, I'll tell you that. Anyway.
Randy, you're up way too early, dude. You need to go back to bed.
K3VI, VA3ACO. Yeah, I'm gonna make this my last, okay? I'll try to get on later on this afternoon, okay? Anyways, go ahead and Steve, maybe we'll hear you now and then. I guess I hear you on 40, but yeah, let me know if that's the same guy that we're talking about up there up north. K3VI, VA3ACO, and Rudy, good to hear you. Sorry, I'm not sticking around this morning. I got stuff to do, okay? And we'll talk to you, Rudy. VA3ACO.
Okay, very good, Angelo. Go ahead, Vito.
Look at that.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to get out of here too. I got to take care of something inside.
Absolutely
I
crazy.
sent some checks out. They've been out 3 weeks, and I don't see them cashed. I got to call these stupid people. I don't know what's going on with the mail these days over here, you know.
You could probably easily run barefoot at 30 over.
Arkansas, where Mr. Clinton came from. Arkansas, good old place. Rudy, you sound good as ever. You sound really, really good. Just to let you guys know, I ain't changing nothing. The antennas, what I got up there are staying. As long as they stay up, that's it. I'm not getting a. I got one bazooka for 80 and 40 that Angelo got me, and that's about it. I ain't putting any more wires up there. I feel bad for the birds. They gotta call into the radar station to make sure they fly through here. The eagles, So I'm gonna give it to Rudy. I'm gonna listen for him, and then you, Steve, and then adios amigos. Maybe we'll catch you tonight. Go ahead, Rudy. RZU K3VI.
Okay, Vito, very good and all that. Well, I have all my antennas up and up. And I was thinking last night about taking down my 2-element homemade beam, 40 meters, and get a commercial one, high gain or somebody, 3-element, a full-size beam, put it up there, and to take the SY33 down, go back onto a cubical cord and for the other higher bands. I'm thinking, but I can't see in high gain. There's not. They all have 2-element beam, and I don't want to take down my 2-element and put a 2-element beam up there. I want a 3-element, more or less full size. Or what are the egg elements? About 46 feet 5 inches or something like that. And anyway, I'm talking about islands. I was in the Blue Nose number 2 in Grenada back in 1962, and I was working on the radar on the Blue Nose, and they also had an HF on board. The chief officer had
stomping on the floor
Collins KWM2 and the 30L1, and with a wire antenna
30 plus over still.
Right up the mast, a wooden mast.
35 over.
Wooden.
Lovely.
And he was to talk all over the world like nobody business, sitting right on the water, about 10 feet off the water. And the antenna went straight up. Of course, he had a good ground. He was in the sea.
Wow.
So, it used to work very, very good. Clear, crisp signal.
That's amazing.
Every time, from just about anywhere. And
I'm surprised. 80 kilometers, you can't hear him?
In the Sudbury mines. And he called me up one day.
Okay, that means
by trade.
Most of his RF is going as lower elevation
I said,
angle.
What promotion you could get down in the mine? He said they moved me up to 6,000 feet. So it was
That's
a little
weird, man.
interesting there. Anyway.
This time of the day,
but now
you
he's
should easily
retired.
hear him.
He ended up working at the nuclear power station in Kincardine, and that's where he retired and moved to London at the moment.
40 over.
So that's how it goes.
Solid.
Steve, let me throw it back to you. I'm going to get going too. Everybody have a good day. I'll throw it back to you for any final there. K1, GMM, V3, how's it, you in the group?
I'm fishing for my foot pedal. Hold on. Okay, I got it. All right, Rudy. We'll catch you later. We had this conversation last night about the stinking foot pedal moving. I always can't seem to find it. I'm stomping around on the floor and the thing's scooting all over the place. So I gotta fix that. Anyways, 7-3 Vito, you got to get out there and work on some antennas, man. You got to get your tweaker hat on, man. Tweaker, you got to tweak. You know you can't leave it alone. That's me. I can never leave anything alone. Actually, the antennas I have up right now have been left alone for, what was the last thing I tried to tweak? well, I moved the receive antenna for diversity. I moved that location, so I had to put new lines, one new line over the tree, one tree, and I moved the location on that, about 3 weeks ago. What was the last project? I took down the loop out front. This was this past fall, and I put up something else and immediately put the loop back up. I couldn't leave it alone. And so this has been a pretty long run where I haven't fussed with anything, but I have a feeling I'm going to start fussing. Rudy, you were pretty much solid 40 over. I'm telling you, man, I don't know what's going on, if you're lying to me or what's happening, but that combination you have at that location, I would be very, very cautious and hesitant to touch that. I have never heard a signal on given amount of power, which you run, coming out of Ontario on this band at this time of the day. 40 over. I could see if you were running 1.5 kW on, I don't know, but I don't think you're running that much, right? I know yesterday you were 40 over and you were running about, 450? And I'm running 300 on the button right now, just about 280. So I don't get it, man. That is I'm so fascinated by that antenna. That's my next project. I ain't doing it now because it's so cold and there's too much snow on the ground, but I am going to try it. And I may even get crazy and try and phase two of them. Turn it into some type of a beam. That's right along the lines of the insanity that I am. A serious problem child. Anyways, we'll catch you guys later. I got to duck out as well. It's getting to be that time. Wow, 5 of 8, and I got to get my daughter going. 7-3 gang. We'll catch you later. Vito, maybe tonight. You guys may be on 40 later today. Put it back to you, Rudy, and you can shut the whole thing down. K1 GMM.
Okay, Steve, very good. And Steve, at the moment, I'm running 550 watts PEP. That's what I have. And I only have a pair of GI7B. I could turn it up to 1100 watts, but no need to do that. And, my antenna is a folded dipole. I just wanted to mention one thing about the double bazooka. I had a straight dipole. The double bazooka have an edge over the straight dipole. When I put this antenna up in the same position,
40
I
over.
had 10 dB more signal
10
than
dB.
the double bazooka. And the double
It's
bazooka
3 times
was
the
made
power.
with the RG8, not the X, the RG8. So that's a heavy cable. I had to run a piece of nylon rope along the wire to keep it straight, and I stretched that out so the antenna stretched out in a sort of inverted V configuration. This antenna is in the same spot as the other one
that's
was,
like,
but this has a 10 dB gain over the double bazooka.
God.
Maybe it wasn't made properly, but I made it myself, and it worked fine. It worked good for
That
years.
is freaking amazing.
I had no problem. My friends still have it now. He uses it every day. He swears the best
Incredible.
he's had, but
Yep.
folded,
That's going to be the next
has the edge
antenna
over the
for
double
sure.
bazooka. Okay, Steve, 7-3. Take care of your daughter. There's only once you can do it. 7-3 is all the way. We're gone. We shouted you.
Okay, Rudy. Yeah, thanks. The guys pushing a stream this morning as well, and this is all good. So, this information is great. 10 dB, dude, that is insanely significant. That's crazy. That's 3 times the power. Free power. 3 times free power just by using that antenna. Increase in power. It's a freaking beautiful thing, dude. We'll see you later. Yeah, because it's 6 times the power to get 20 dB. So yeah, that's 3 times the power. That's phenomenal. We'll catch you later, man. 7-3. I'm going to shut everything down. Have a great day. K1 GMM.
Okay, 7-3. Is the Vito still there? All right, so we're gone. We shouted you clear, Curtis.
All righty. Stand by. The amp cool. And I am going to boogie on upstairs. And I am so freaking fascinated by that antenna Wire up the drool. I'll tell you. Oh, wipe up the drool. Wipe up the drool. I'll tell you, man. There are a couple different antennas I've heard over the past 5 years that a few, I would say 3 or 4, that have boggled my mind. That definitely goes into, I would say that's the top 2. Yeah, Gary, now I don't know if it'll work here, but that is significant. And that does translate. That's even over a loop. That's over a full wave loop. That's what has me baffled, completely baffled. Angelo is on a full wave loop, fed with open wire. And that thing eats that full wave loop for lunch, spits it out into nothing but a molten pile of plastic and copper. I mean, what a freaking joke. There is no comparison between a full wave loop and what he's running right there on the given amount of power. I'm sorry, the difference between 100 watts and 400 watts is what? 2 times the power is 200, 3 times the power is 400. So 3 times the power gives you 10 dB. Now, he is consistently 25 to 30 dB stronger than Angelo is. All right? Do the math. That is freaking terrifying on an antenna that takes up a fraction of the space of a full wave loop. Yes, it's basically a full wave loop compressed into a folded dipole. And the only thing I will say before I shut it down is, Gary, I've told you about Chris. I always thought of them as a joke, right? Well, they are not a joke. Chris explained to me N1GBB, which now has a new call. He does this stuff for a living. He said, I have a 4-bay folded dipole array. I'll give you free if you want it. And I said, nah, that's okay. He said, don't underestimate how effective folded dipoles are. They're absolutely wicked. And I said, yeah, but it's not a beam. He says, just get that out of your head. Why do you think they use folded dipoles on these smoke and gun repeater antennas? They don't use them because they're junk, So, yeah, move that into the HF realm. Hell yeah. So there's obviously something to it. Anyways, I'm shutting down, guys, so I can run upstairs quick. And I'll be around Gary probably in about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. I'll let things settle once my daughter's up and going at 7:15. 7-3 gang, we'll catch you later. Have a great day. Thanks for stopping by. K1GMM in the